So I'm just going to assume that you clicked on this video because you're interested in selling on Etsy and you haven't started yet. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you need to get started ASAP, as soon as possible. Over the last couple of years, selling on Etsy has become very, very popular. And there's a lot of people out there promoting that you start selling on Etsy. But with that being said, there's also more competition. So I wanted to give you 5 reasons you should start today, but I also wanted to give you one other thing that I'm going to share a little bit later that no one is talking about that will separate you from a lot of the competition that people are just not willing to do. Yes, there's people that are starting on Etsy and they're making $500 a month, $1,000 a month as a side hustle. And there's also people that are making 6 figures and even 7 figures running a full-fledged business. I actually shot a video recently where a guy is doing over $460,000 profit from using Etsy to sell his products. The cool thing about this is you can go as small or as big as you want, but there are some things that you need to consider. So let's dig into reason number 1 you should get started as soon as possible. So the very first thing is, well, it is super, let me say that one more time, super easy to get started. Now, I've tried a lot of different side hustles in my day, and I actually shot a video where I went over 6 side hustles that generated over $50,000, and there's a lot of them out there, but there's also a lot of barriers to entry that you have to get through. And this here, Etsy, you can get started for less than $100. You can use things like print on demand. That's what we use, where we create the designs and then other companies will print it for us and then they ship it to our customers. The other thing you can do is use digital products, which is really, really cool. And the other thing you can do is you can always create your own handmade stuff. But for the most part, people are wanting to get started on Etsy because they want somewhat of a passive type of side hustle or business, and print on demand or digital products is going to help you with that. So like I said, the first reason is because it's super easy and there's not a lot of hoops to jump through. And you can literally have your first item up like at the end of the day. All right, the second reason why you should get started selling on Etsy immediately is because of this. There are a lot of people that might be where you are right now. They're in the researching stage. They're in the, I don't know if I want to do that stage. And they're just waiting on the sidelines. Here's the deal. There's other people that are jumping in right now as you watch this video and they're getting started. And what you want to do is understand that if you get started, you have a much greater chance of succeeding, of making some sales. So my big reason here is get started because other people just aren't getting started. There's plenty of resources out there. I have a whole bunch on my channel here that you can use to get started immediately. And I am the believer that imperfect action is much better than perfection or perfect action, because let's face it, a lot of times what we do in the beginning is not going to be perfect, and it's okay, but you're going to learn as you start to take action. So my advice here is don't be perfect, get something up, get something on Etsy. So this way here, you have a chance to make a sale and you're going to learn from everything that you do. So you're going to be ahead of a lot of people that are just out there watching YouTube videos and actually not taking action. And if you really think about it, it's kind of like a competitive advantage because you're in the game, they're not in the game. The third reason to get started as soon as possible is because, like I said in the last one, is once you get started, you start to get data. You start to learn not just from what you're doing, but also from the data that you're getting inside of your Etsy account. You see, when you launch a product, you're going to be able to see how many views did it get? How many people clicked on your item? You're going to be able to start seeing, okay, are people actually interested in this? Are there things that I can improve? And this way here, that will lead you to other successful products or other successful niches. So that's why once you get started, yes, you are getting an advantage because no one else is really starting or less people are getting started, but you're also getting real data. And if you start to run Etsy ads, which I actually talk about that, and it's really inexpensive to get started, like less than a cup of coffee, and you're going to get data almost immediately. Like you're going to put up a product and you're going to run an ad against it in Etsy, and you're immediately the next morning going to have some data back. I mean, where else can you do that? You can create a product, launch it, run an ad, and in the morning you can have data and maybe even have a sale. So I can't stress this enough. Getting data is a huge advantage, and the quicker you start getting the data, the quicker you're going to be able to make better decisions and you're going to be able to launch better products. All right, the fourth reason you should get started as soon as possible is because once you get started, now you have a Etsy shop that is starting to get a score within Etsy. You see, Etsy has a scoring system, and what it does is it starts to look at your sales history. It starts to look at how well you respond with a customer, how active your account is, and this can be you uploading new products every single day or every other day or once a week. That shows Etsy that you're a serious Etsy shop owner and you're putting energy into the shop. And as you're uploading new products, you are in there answering questions from people that are interested in your products or maybe a customer. You are now also seasoning your account, meaning you are starting to get history, whether that's just communication history, how well you communicate with a customer, or sales. And once you start to do this, you are now going to have a competitive advantage from someone else that is just starting. That's why we want to get started as soon as possible. And the other advantage of having an account that is seasoned, that has a score, you are also now going to have an advantage when you launch new products. So in a sense, Etsy is going to be looking at your shop compared to someone else's shop that just launched a similar product. Who are they going to give the ranking advantage? Basically, people that are searching for the item, who are they going to promote more? The one that doesn't have any history or the one that does have sales history? Well, I think we both know the answer to that. The one that has sales history. So that's why as soon as you get started, you are now building a score in your Etsy shop and you're also building your history. So this way here, Etsy knows that you're a credible Etsy shop. And the fifth reason to get started as soon as possible, kind of building off of what we already talked about, is now you are going to start getting favorites on your Etsy shop from people that like your products. And what this will do is it will also tell Etsy, oh, people like this shop, so they're actually favoriting it. And it's also going to allow you to reach those people that favorited your account with their push notifications inside of the Etsy platform. Now, the other thing that will happen here as you start to build some momentum is you're going to also start to get reviews. And we all know, you and I, that we usually will buy off of reviews, whether that's on Amazon, whether that's on Etsy, or even someone's website. We want to see what other people are saying about our products, about our shop. Well, when we get reviews, we will convert higher on sales than someone that is brand new. Now, does that mean that you can't make sales if you don't have any reviews? No, you absolutely can, but your sales conversions will go up if you have more reviews. That's why in the very beginning, we want to do our best to launch good products, have good customer service, and go ahead and get those reviews. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, Scott, this is all great, but I'm still worried about that competition. I think it's going to be too competitive and I really can't compete with all of the people that have been on Etsy for years. And there is something that you can do that a lot of people are not willing to do, and that is personalization. Now, is this going to require more time on your part? The answer is yes, but here's the cool thing. You're going to rise above the competition and you're going to be able to charge more for those items. Now, one thing that holds people back from offering personalization is, well, how do I do it? You could literally do this in Canva on your design, or you can use Printify, which is a print on demand service. They will actually let you customize it right inside of their tool before they print the item. So offering personalization is going to automatically eliminate a lot of the competition. But the biggest sticking point that I see is people get overwhelmed and they think they have to have everything figured out. And that's why I shot this video right here that goes over a complete roadmap that if I was to start a brand new Etsy shop, this is what I would do. This is the roadmap I would follow. Watch that video next and I'll see you there.